we usually let this build for a second because
Sure.
folks hop on. And,
I've seen.
yeah. So anyway, how are you today?
I'm doing good.
Good.
man.
Good.
I'm doing good. I got
Yeah.
my campaign account ready to receive funds.
Good.
We're making things happen.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yes.
Yeah. What do? You talk about the weather with this weird little moment here.
It's about to get cold.
Yeah. Is it really?
Santa Claus is coming to town
Maybe we'll get
tomorrow night.
Yep.
That's fantastic. Weather's been awesome, but apparently we're having snow.
Well, I'm gonna get artificial snow.
Are you?
Santa.
Okay.
Okay, don't make promises.
No.
Kiddies are watching.
I love rich people. They can make it snow.
All right, so we're live. Maybe still a couple minutes here. Let folks log in.
Sure
Did you work all day?
If that's the
worked
case,
all
I
day.
will make us
Yeah.
hookah.
You can hook it.
Yeah, today's a home health day, so I was just driving around all around the,
Right.
Tecumseh, Midwest City, and Norman.
Right.
Yep. So it wasn't day where I'm in the clinic all day, but
How many houses did you see in a day?
depending on the drive, 5 or 6.
I had the nicest compliment to
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome. Let's start.
Oh, yeah, just had to get me out
Wait
of
a
the
little more.
industry.
All right.
We don't have many people yet.
All right. Yeah. It usually takes people.
What
a
was
little
your
bit to
compliment,
stop in.
someone?
Can people hear us? So the people that are there, can they hear us?
Anyone? Alex Torby's waving. Hey, Alex.
Can you hear us, Alex? That was loud. How about this? Can you hear this, Alex?
I heard you, Russ.
Can you hear us, Alex?
Everyone heard Russ.
Yeah. I come from a loud family where you have to scream over everyone.
It's a Texan thing.
Yeah, I think so.
Kind of the same with our UN family too.
Oh yeah. If you're not screaming, you're not being heard. Yeah. We got 533.
Yeah.
Where do you live, roughly? Down off Imhoff.
Sherwood Forest.
Sherwood Forest. Yep.
Home of Robin Hood.
A lot of Robin Hood.
I
Green.
love
Yeah.
that.
They have good,
Kings Court.
That's right.
good
That's
Christmas lights in that area.
Yeah, good trees. We used to.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Awesome trees.
Sean Boyd said, "Let's go, Jay."
All right. Let's get started.
All right, we're at 25 viewers.
Yeah, that's usually a good starting point. People get on and see it later.
Sure.
Welcome to Facebook Live Conversations with Candidates Happy Hour. This is Jay Wendorff, Ward 2 City Council candidate. Thanks for coming on,
Yeah,
Jay.
man. Thanks
Appreciate
for
it.
having me.
Yeah, absolutely.
I appreciate it.
Ward 2 needed someone to step up to the plate and be a candidate, be a good candidate, be a hard worker.
Sure.
We're hoping, and be a champion for Ward 2. It really needs it.
You're hoping.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah, I'm
We are
hoping.
really hoping.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Sasan's coming.
He's
Some
wandering
point.
around. Yeah.
He's busy.
So tell, just give us your background. What do you do, and tell the folks what you do and what
My
tell
history.
stuff about you.
About me. Yeah, right on. My bio.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I have been in Norman, I think, for the past 37 years-ish. I came here for 3rd grade. My mom was born and raised here, went to Norman High. My grandpa, had a plumbing business here. And my mom has 10 brothers and sisters.
Whoa.
And
Wow.
all but one of them live in Norman.
Really?
Yes.
So half
And so
Norman is your
cousins,
family.
cousins, and those guys are mechanical contractors, they're
Are they all Ward 2?
I wish they were all Ward 2. I have one cousin in Ward 2.
Yeah.
Will he vote for you?
I think you will.
Well, you got one vote.
That's right. Yeah, married. I have 4 kids. Their ages 8 to 14.
Are you going for 10 also?
Right. No, we're not the Duggars. It's over.
Yeah. All right.
It's over. Yeah, I don't want to be 70 when my youngest child
I
is
understand.
graduating high school.
I understand. Yeah.
As awesome as it is.
Yeah.
I'm a physical therapist. I've been one for 22 years. Did outpatient.
It's
Put that anywhere.
No one's bleeding.
It's
Yeah.
fine.
Yes.
Everything's
You did
fine.
outpatient.
I did outpatient therapy in Norman and Oklahoma City for about 8 years. And I've been doing home health care for the past 14, where I've basically been taking care of the seniors, and in some ways just anyone who can't get out of their house,
Right.
for the past 14. Around Norman, Oklahoma City, I work for the absentee Shawnee tribe,
Okay.
doing home health for them.
Right.
And doing some outpatient for them now, out there in this beautiful facility at 156th and Highway 9,
Okay. Yeah.
right? So.
Why are you running?
Why am I running?
Yeah.
Well, over the past few years, firstly, I love this city. I wouldn't live anywhere else. Norman is the best city in the state. My parents live here, my family's here, I have no plans on moving. My kids are growing up in this place, and it's the best place. And I just feel like, over the past few years, you can just feel, and probably longer than that, but you can feel that the voice of the leadership in Norman is growing less and less representative of the people of Norman.
It's a good way to say it.
Right. It's not an accurate representation. And, I have thought about running because of that over the past few years, kicked it around with some buddies, and then one of my buddies, Andrew Tiffany, ran for Ward 2 last time, and I was like, well, I'm just going to support you. And here I am. I think that the thing that really kicked it off was probably my wife and I attended the police budget meeting.
You were there.
I was there, yes.
Okay. Yeah.
And after that, I thought, somebody has to do something.
Yeah.
Somebody has to do something. Somebody has to stand up. Which you guys thought that too, and 20-some thousand signatures later,
Yeah.
The majority of the city agrees.
So you're saying that kind of the genesis of your feeling to step up maybe started that night, and you made your final decision sometime later?
Right. Yeah. Sometime later, I was. Yeah, sure. That's probably accurate. Sometime later, just in conversation with friends.
Yeah.
I've got some guys that have surrounded me who have some strengths that I don't have, and have some ambition that I hadn't quite tapped into. Finally, I thought, what, I can do this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you speak that night?
I sat around for 4 hours waiting to speak.
Yeah, I don't think they let.
You know what I mean?
The idea the reason they ran so far into the night, they were wanting to let every voice be heard. Is that
Right.
Is that a true statement?
Well, there were lots of voices being heard until I finally had to go relieve
Until
my
yours couldn't
babysitters.
be heard.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, those friends that you were talking
Yeah.
about have been reaching out to me, singing your praises. I've gotten several texts about you since you declared,
awesome.
and since you filed, and then today, we put on our Facebook, on our group me, and through kind of some group texts, these little flyers about you, and then immediate responses were they were fast. That he's a great guy, he'd be a great candidate. A million compliments from these guys. So you definitely have some love out there.
I appreciate that love. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Carol Bauman says, "Hi Jay, you are such a great guy for this."
Yeah.
Carol Bell.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Let me go first.
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
You ready to dive in?
Yeah. Let's dive in. Let's see what I know about these questions. Favorite band, U2. Are we there yet? I listened the other night. Joshua Tree.
About 50 minutes early.
I think you sort of answered this one, but
Oh, okay.
what was your response to calls to defund the police?
Okay. Yeah. So, like I said, my wife and I were at that meeting, and the tension in that room was outrageous. I mean, and so, it's clear, like it's been evident that our city council has, been, they've kind of had their kind of hand up in opposition to developers and things like that. And I'm aware of that, but I did not really dream that we would move in opposition to the police department. And so I left listening to all the dialogue and all of the hostility and all of the emotion. And I was thinking, it really felt like our council was bending their ear toward the people moving against the police department. However, I did not dream that I would wake up and see that they had cut the budget by $5,000. I didn't dream that, and it floored me.
Spur of the moment.
I couldn't believe it.
You couldn't believe they did a spur of the moment 3 a.m. decision based on the screams and yells of a lot of people that don't even live here. By the way,
No, I didn't.
more texts are flowing in about you.
Yes.
So this guy's got some support here.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Go ahead,
Yeah,
sorry.
so, no,
Had to
I
tell
mean,
you
that's
about
the-
that.
that's the
Phone's
crux
lighting
of it.
up green.
That's awesome. So the crux of it is, it's just extremely disappointing, and it feels like a knee-jerk reaction, to national trends
Yeah.
and wanting to take a stand in a place against a group that does deserve it. And
Being the police, you mean?
correct,
Yeah.
being the police. Yeah.
What do you consider the three most important, I hesitate to say this whole question every time. What do you consider to be the three most important priorities of city government? It's hard to answer, but what do you consider to be three very important priorities of city government?
Right, three very. Yeah, I would say at the very top, Sasan keeps trying to
I
drink
keep
my
waiting
beer.
for his beer. I'm
It's on-
left-handed.
it's on
I'm
camera.
sorry. Put it over there. Yeah.
This is your house.
My God.
I would say economic development, number one. Being a good steward of the finances that, our sales tax and property tax are bringing our city, jobs make the world go round. Everybody's happier with a job,
Right.
right?
Yes.
And we need to be doing the very most with what we have. We have a high sales tax, and we've got that sales tax doing a lot of work for us, a lot of things that we have voted on for it to move toward, and that's great. But, we've got a revenue issue. We're short on revenue, and we need more revenue. And the number one way that that's going to increase is by being open to the businesses that people in Norman want to come here.
Increase revenue through
Yeah.
capitalism? What a novel concept.
Right.
Because we
Capitalism,
have one
right.
we have one council member that's pro-socialism just outwardly, and
Right.
I just thought that was the thing to do now, is to
Right.
be a socialist. So you're saying that we would increase revenue through
Can you imagine that?
through economic activity?
Right. Capitalism is
God,
what.
that's a good way to
made
get
that
blocked
vaccine
on like
happen so
Facebook and
fast.
Twitter.
Who would want that economic prosperity?
Oh,
I
it's
don't
terrible.
know. I don't know.
It's
Smells
terrible.
nice.
Right.
Okay.
So that would be number one. I would say public safety number two.
Yeah.
Because when someone's saying I want to, someone gets a job in Oklahoma City, and they're trying to choose between Norman, Moore, Edmond, Oklahoma City to move to. I mean, one of the number one questions they're going to ask is it safe there?
Yes.
That's the first
Are the
thing.
schools good?
You got a family. That's the
Are
first.
there
thing.
jobs there? Are there things to do? Are there community spaces where we can enjoy family and friends? Which would be the third. I mean, like quality of life stuff, community spaces, family
Right.
and friends, retail,
Yeah.
restaurants to eat at, places to walk. Those kinds of things, the basic things. People aren't. When people move to a city, the question that they're asking isn't deer sushi.
Deer sushi.
I had a piece of deer sushi, and I chewed it for about 5 minutes. I was wondering if I was
We
going to
are an
get chewed.
ADD group. I was actually following you this time, though. Please continue that. Continue.
But I chewed it before the thing started.
Good.
It's down
Yeah.
there. But I was just saying, when someone's moving to a place, the things that they're wanting to know is it safe? Are there jobs there? Are the schools good? Are there community spaces to interact with family and friends? They're not wondering if we took a stand against the police department.
Right.
That's not what they're wanting to know.
Yeah.
And so
That's
And
not
the
something
city-
you would typically ask. Yeah.
no, that's right. And so the city.
Can I pause you guys?
Yeah.
Jay, I just need you to speak a little bit louder.
I can turn this
Can I
mic.
scoot closer?
You could scoot closer, and I think
We want to make sure
It goes like-
yours.
Yeah, come a little closer
I'll
to
come
this.
closer.
And actually, I turned it to.
Okay.
It should work better.
Excellent.
Go ahead.
Repeat what I was saying.
Oh,
Do you think, Kendra?
well, we were
Sasan, what was I saying?
we're on the subject of public safety, and we.
Right. People just aren't. People aren't moving to a city wanting to know if they properly moved against the police department.
Right.
And took a stand.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? They want to know, is it safe? Are the schools good? What's the retail, restaurants, places to go? Community activities. That's the things that people are wanting in a city.
Sure.
And that's what our city needs to be focusing on, thinking for the future about our economy and development, that kind of stuff. That's the encompass of my top
Sure.
three.
Okay, all right,
whatever.
yeah, fair enough. Tell us, as you know, and I talk about this a lot, and I'll give the quick spiel in case there's anyone who hasn't heard me say this ad nauseum, but what is, we, as you know, in Norman, the hurdle to launch a recall election, to put someone up for recall, is that we have to get 25% signatures for 25% of the
Right.
actual registered voters in a city. In a city like Norman, where so many people don't actually live here, registered
They've gone
here.
to college here. They got to vote for the first time, maybe, and
Right.
then they live. They're gone.
So as you all know, that's and I hate to lead the witness, but that's that hurdle is
Didn't know
Or
this was a
they're
trial.
it's the hardest. It's the
You've
hardest.
got my back, right?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
about it.
Thank you.
We said no ambush, remember?
That's right.
Thank you.
One of the hardest recall. We were the hardest city charter to recall in the nation.
Right.
And so
Sure.
we have a petition. We have 3 petitions. And what's your position on the one where we're trying to actually lower the threshold for recall? We don't want it too low to be used as a weapon. We want it
Yes,
difficult,
right.
but not impossible, as Kate Bierman alluded to in December in a council meeting. So,
Okay.
tell us what you think about that
Right.
petition that we're circulating.
The
Have you signed it?
existing, I signed it.
All right.
The
thank you.
existing number is far too much.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can get as far as like in multiples, how many people voted in the election and you got 20,000?
The people that
13,000.
voted
Yes.
for her was 6,700.
6,700.
Right. So if you can surpass the total number of votes in the
Maybe
in
like
the election,
3 times.
Right. Right.
Just saying.
right?
That's a
Exactly.
random number.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's too much.
Okay.
But you're right. I mean, you don't want for people to. I haven't thought about it. I don't know what I think a good number would be, but certainly,
Yeah.
you don't want. People vote for someone, and they should be able to take that office.
Right.
And it should be. You should have to work to get those persons out of office, but it shouldn't be. That high. It shouldn't be that high. Yeah.
Well, when it is
Absolutely.
high, in my opinion, and I think everyone agrees, when it is high, those city council members just feel completely impervious. They have no.
No, that's true.
It
That's
doesn't
right.
matter. You can't do
Yeah,
anything
that's
to me.
true.
I'm going to do
Right.
whatever I want based on. They don't sit there and exercise the will of the people, so they do what they
Right.
want to do.
That's
They-
right.
They need to have that constant reminder that they're not.
Supreme Court or something.
Yeah, they can go. They can go. What about the second petition where we're changing the time of the council meetings? Right now, I think they go at 6 and 6 o'clock, 6:30 p.m. And then sometimes until
Right.
3 or 4 in the
Oh my
morning.
gosh.
So we're changing it. One of the recall petitions to move
Right.
council meetings to 8:30 in the morning.
Right. So let me talk to my boss about that. Right.
Okay.
It's too
Yeah.
late.
I do have a flexible schedule, 3
Yeah.
days a week. Yeah.
Okay.
And so I could do that, but I think that's exactly, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Because, as it just goes, you need it in a frame period, in a frame of time where it feels like a professional activity,
Right.
not a social activity where people are just coming in and it's just going on for hours and hours. And it needs to be on task. I mean, we have, so in my work, we have case conference every week. And there's an hour slotted for it. And one of the nurses was teasing me the other day because once we hit an hour and people are just like shooting the breeze, I'm like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
we need to get out
Yeah.
of here.
I've been
We've got
in
stuff
those.
to do.
Yeah.
Right, we
Yeah.
have stuff to do.
Right. Let's get on with it.
And
Yeah.
you can, and I think that like whenever you have it more, like have a meeting that is more rigid and has a beginning and an end and it has rules to it,
Right.
it's more professional. You
Yeah.
get more done.
You don't have the
And you're not
folks falling
making,
asleep.
Yes.
you don't have anyone falling
You
asleep.
don't have anybody falling asleep,
Right.
snoring.
Yeah.
And you're not listening,
One
listening
feeding
to
chickens.
really
Clark just said Sarita did eat a pizza during a meeting.
Oh my gosh.
And I'd like to point out that, we sit here and cut up. This is who we are. We're not hiding anything. We're eating deer sushi. We're having a beer, a wine. Sasan's got the
Smoking
hookah tonight.
hookah
Well,
going?
that first night I
Right.
came over here, I had never had a hookah tobacco in my life. I was always a cigar guy. And,
Well,
a cigar, you don't...
apparently I offended somebody last night
Oh,
smoking
that-
a cigar, so I switched
You
tonight.
switched.
That
over.
cigar should be the litmus test about how you are going to perform as a council member, apparently. That says it all. No, and then we have our third petition. You know, I call it the Sean Boyd incident took
Oh my
place.
gosh,
Or,
right.
you know,
Right.
you could call it our, the David Perry incident, the Sean Boyd incident, the committee, the
Right.
fake committee incident that they formed.
Right.
Our third petition says that we need to have a special election
I
as soon
got
as
one.
possible.
100%.
There they go again, incident.
There they go again.
There they go again.
Not caring. Yeah.
Right.
Ward 2 guy has a question here.
Okay. That's a good,
I don't know if
yeah,
that's it
okay.
or not.
Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, the Sean Boyd incident. Sean's a friend of mine.
Okay.
Fantastic guy.
Sean is a great
Fantastic
guy.
guy.
He's saying a lot of good about you.
Yeah,
That's
he's
good.
one of the
Keep it
people who
coming.
blew me up.
Keep it coming. Right, so there needs to be a special election. If you're not going to let the committee influence your decision, why have a committee?
Great
Right.
question.
Why do it?
Why is there a committee if the committee essentially has no say?
What an embarrassment.
Yeah. A committee even that apparently was in the majority seeing things differently than Sean, but they were so impressed with him
Yes.
that they chose him.
Most of those people,
Right.
that's a great point.
Yeah,
I've never
I
even
mean,
thought.
they're so impressed with him that they chose him, and the council was like, no, we don't need that impressive guy.
Their hand-picked committee.
That doesn't sit well.
He has a great point there.
That's a very good point.
Because there have been people on the show, and it will be on the show, that I have disagreements with, but I think they'd be great at their job.
Well,
That's how you're supposed to judge,
Right.
who should be in
So they
place.
did a great job
Yeah,
choosing him. Yeah.
They did. A team
Yeah.
of rivals almost,
Right,
and,
for sure.
okay, and I've hogged the questions. I've had too much cappuccino or espresso, so Kendra, you want to shoot? So, or let's take an audience question, or what do you want to do?
There's some good, just
And then you.
easygoing beginner audience questions. Kelly Markham has.
Yeah,
a
we
good
need
one.
those. That's good.
Yeah, Kelly says, I would like to know if you will share how you voted in the presidential election and why, or how you're registered.
I don't. Look.
How about how you're registered?
Let's go with how you registered.
I'm a
And Kelly, I
Republican.
think it's a great
Yes.
question, and I'd
Sure.
love to get to those later.
He is in your ward.
Yeah, Kelly.
Markham,
Kelly's
he's a great
awesome
guy,
human being.
a huge supporter of us, and
Cool.
Yeah,
Excellent.
I love him.
Say
when
what
he
you
tells-
want is what I'm saying.
He tells me how great I am. It's so awesome.
You need
Kelly's
Thanks,
inspirational, man.
people that
He
tell
is,
you
he's
are
the
great.
best.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
Anyways, go ahead.
I'm a Republican.
You're a
Yes.
registered Republican, okay?
For sure.
All right.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
Yes.
Did we do all the petitions?
Yes.
Okay. Did you sign the recall petition?
I signed the recall petition. In Brookhaven Park, me and my wife.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, my wife's watching. She's a big Unite Norman.
Were you forced to sign them at gunpoint? Were you?
I got there.
falsely-
I got there early, and I was just wandering
older
around.
lady was 80. She made me sign up.
Right. It's an open carry.
Yeah.
She just showed
So
me
you
her
just
hand.
wandered up there for no reason. You saw someone with a gun and you signed, right?
That's right.
So
That's right.
ridiculous. Thank you for signing.
Oh
Thank
my
you.
gosh. Thank you for doing it. I mean, I feel like people around there are people that would want to create a movement like Unite Norman who just do not have the means, the understanding, or the motivation or ambition or whatever. I mean, it's unbelievable. You guys have done awesome.
Or they are of the same mind.
Right.
That we're not.
Yeah, that's right.
I
I gotta be a
eat
little
deer-
crazy.
They don't eat
Yeah.
deer sushi, probably.
I
That's
think, I
probably
think
the
ours
key.
ran on pure angry determination.
Yeah, I was like,
It
we're
was
not
kind
gonna
of a,
take it
oh,
anymore.
hell no, this ain't happening.
Maybe they're
Yeah.
just not angry enough.
No.
No, thank you for signing. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
When we get rid of some of these, I can't say monkeys.
Radicals.
Radicals on campus, we need to send them a thank you note.
Council?
Council.
You mean on council?
And the mayor, yeah.
Yeah.
I really mean that because it was their direct actions that caused this,
That's-
that caused Unite Norman and caused, call us what you want. They call us Divide Norman. But, we didn't defund the police. We
No.
didn't do all the shenanigans that they have done. And it just seems like they're digging, they're the hole deeper and deeper as we go, just
100%.
just to show us they can. And I hope they dig that as deep as they can.
Keep going.
And
Keep digging it.
but I'm not joking about
Right.
this.
Right.
In some way, we should be thankful to their recklessness.
They woke us up.
And we saw that it was our fault for allowing
Yes.
them to do that.
Mayor, City Council, thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you for showing us the way not to go. We appreciate it. You woke us up, and we're not going back to sleep. Never again. You want to? You were going to ask something right before the Kelly asked.
Someone asked what ward, Jay is running for Ward 2.
Ward 2.
Ward
Ward
2.
two.
This is the
Ward
ward.
2.
Yeah, if you're joining late, Ward 2 City Council
Yeah.
candidate.
Do you know anything about your opponents?
I do not know anything about my opponents.
Just
Filing was
curious.
just what yesterday. So.
Right. Yeah, I don't.
So you
I
have
know that
two?
I
other
have two.
people?
There's three of us. Yeah.
Okay.
And I gather that they both see things different than me.
Okay.
From what I understand.
That's what makes us unique as a
Yes,
community.
indeed.
That's
I think
okay.
is David DePerry's son, I believe.
You know,
that I
I don't
know
think
of.
he did file,
No.
but we got Joe Carter, and then we have
No,
Joe
Joe
Carter
Carter's
did-
not.
Joe
not
Carter
Joe
is
Carter,
not. E.C. McGuire
E.C.
is
McGuire,
one name
and
that
then
I saw, and then
McGarry.
another.
McGarry. That's right.
Yeah, that's
right.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Joe Carter said he was going to, didn't he? And then he
I
didn't.
thought he was.
Or that was the rumor anyway. He didn't file. That's right.
Yep.
Well, both are welcome to join our forum.
Yes.
If
There
you
they
go.
Okay.
would like to reach out, and
There
we'd
you
love
go.
to have them here.
There's a confusing thing going on with one John Argo, right?
Right. So-
John Argo, tell us.
He filed in
tell-
the wrong,
Did he file in the wrong one?
he filed in the wrong ward.
Are we certain?
Yes.
I know the paper reported John Argo in Ward 2, and when I nicely looked to see what was going on with John Argo, I found a house to a John Argo in Ward 2.
Mm.
But
I was told.
the election board said he filed in Ward 3 online, so.
We don't know what's going on.
Okay.
Although it sounds like Sasan knows. I didn't know that.
Did he also run for
He-
state congress or
His
something?
dad, maybe, right?
It was his dad.
There wasn't
Yeah.
a
Okay.
John Argo
Who
that
lives out
did.
in the east,
Okay.
correct?
We've had a
He's out
good
in
turn,
East
good,
Oklahoma.
Yeah.
good participation
Yeah.
of
Yes.
folks.
I know
to-
his dad.
And
I
that,
grew up
and
like a
that
block
shows
away
we've done
from
our
his
job.
dad.
You
Yeah.
know, people aren't just afraid of going for those offices, and
Right.
some are wanting to make changes, don't like the direction that the city has been going, such as yourself. So I think we've done
That's
our
great.
job.
Yeah.
Did your job.
Well, we
That's
have
right.
to
I
continue
agree there.
doing our job of supporting
right.
these people who are running
Right.
and
That's
not
right.
get back to our busy lives and just leave
Absolutely.
them out hanging to make decisions.
We can't go
and
back
then
to sleep.
complain
I mean,
we can't go
because
back
We
to
don't like
sleep.
the decision.
That's precisely right.
Yes.
We go back to sleep, it's over.
Right. You know, you were talking about sending the thank you note to our city council. But, you know, as far as like
On the way out the
moving
door.
so far, I know that you guys have talked to people about Second Amendment.
Yeah, I
You've
was gonna
talked
bring
about
that up.
that.
Yeah.
We can bring that up. You know, I thought to myself today, I think something came across my news feed about this House Bill 196 in Texas. Have you guys read
Mm-hmm. No,
about
I
this?
haven't.
No.
I haven't.
It's have you, Denise? Yeah, so Terry Meza from Irving, Texas, which is where I was born.
I was born right up the road.
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So she proposed a bill essentially eliminating the castle domain, which she was encouraging people, if a burglar comes into your home and has a weapon, they're only using that weapon to coerce you to give them your possessions.
What else are they in there for?
Right. Therefore, they're not wanting to hurt you. And so you shouldn't be allowed to shoot that person.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's real.
I'm glad you.
That's real. So it's kind of like if you were on the fence, you know, about the Second Amendment, that should get you off the fence because, you know, we've spent,
Amen.
and you're talking about, you know, the thank yous, but in essence, I think I'm on fire right now, this guy. I'm in a cloud of smoke.
Are you telling
Keep
folks
doing it, it
I'm
smells
full
good.
of smoke?
Yeah, that's right. But you know, in essence, you know, it's like these things keep happening across our country, and in Texas, for crying out loud, where people are saying things and putting things out there that you don't think would ever get traction, and magically they're getting traction.
Yeah.
You know, people are actually throwing these things out there, and you just shake your head, and you can't believe that you're hearing this, and
Yeah. It's
You
like,
know?
it's like a friend of mine, Pat, says, you know, there's a lot of people, you know, we get threats and things like that, and you can come in my house, but you're not leaving. It's like Hotel
Welcome
California.
home.
Right, right.
No, so that answers the Second Amendment. I was going to ask that,
Right.
and I like that you asked. Thank you for answering like very specifically. So you feel strongly that the
Yes,
Second
100.
Amendment.
I own a gun. My dad has like an arsenal of
Yeah,
guns
yeah,
in
sure,
his house.
sure.
Does
Yeah.
he
For
want to sell
some
some?
reason, maybe I'll give you his number.
Gun talk. The next
That's
show.
right.
Oh, can I go get my guns?
No, you're not allowed out at sea.
Easier to take the show there.
You want to do the audience question?
Sure. This is a great one from Sean Boyd.
Oh my
He
gosh.
says, amidst a time in history with such great division, how might you, as the elected councilman, work to bridge the gap for the people of Ward 2?
Bridge the gap. So, Sean Boyd,
Yeah.
my guy.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm as conservative as you could be. You know, I vote conservative. I think conservative. I mean, I'm as conservative as you can be. However, I believe, you know, relative to things like let's say Black Lives Matter.
Right.
I do not support the organization Black Lives Matter because I don't think Black Lives Matter is an authentic voice for Black lives. That's my opinion. You know, because of like, you know, in their mission statements, you know, if you like Marcellus Wiley on ESPN
Yeah,
said,
yeah.
did you hear that? That was fantastic.
It's
It's
amazing.
like, you know, they're wanting to dismantle the patriarchal family structure.
Yeah.
That's silly. And they're, you know, and then, you know, $140 million of theirs goes to Joe Biden,
And-
you know, and it's like,
Opal
You know,
Tometi and
and
Patrice
so,
Kalora
like-
say that they're trained Marxists, the people who started the organization.
right, you know, and so like, I feel that you can feel that way, but you can also desire, you know, for people to come, if you have a problem, if you don't feel safe with the police, if you have feelings about the police and the way policing occurs, you should be able to come to a city council meeting and let your voice be heard. But that doesn't mean that everyone should cower down and feel like, well, you can't be pro-police and pro-Black lives, or you
Right.
can't be pro-police
Right,
and,
that's a weird
and
dichotomy.
it's weird. It's, you know, you should be like, you can walk in empathy and want unity and also feel like the police need to be fully supported,
It's
right?
a great, I
You know,
I
so
love
I
this
think
answer.
that like, you know, so like regarding Ward 2, you know, I think, you know, Ward 2 is probably, you know, 50-50 conservative, liberal, maybe, I don't know. And I don't know anybody that couldn't have that. I don't feel like, you know, people couldn't have that conversation. It's not hard to have an open mind and be empathetic and
Yeah.
have an opinion and still be friends, you know.
Yeah.
So I just think that if that answers the question, I mean, that's kind of like a statement. I don't know if that answers
Actually,
the
some of the
question,
texts I got were from people from a different political persuasion, the texts of support for you.
Cool,
So that's,
fantastic.
That, you know, I'll show
That's
you those.
awesome.
And so that talks about
Right.
bridging the gap, and that's important, and that's what Unite Norman is all about. Is we had pretty, I'd call them pretty liberal people from the left were actually circulating petitions for us, many of them.
Right, right.
Because this, you know, we didn't divide the town. They did, with 20,000 plus
Right.
people
You
signing.
don't- Yes, you don't have to be a Republican to support the police.
That's
and
right.
you don't have to be a liberal to want all voices to be able to be heard.
That's right. And you were saying there's another question?
Yes, and this directly relates to what you were saying, but can you give any thoughts on how you would actively work to unify the police department with the city and the council?
Oh my gosh.
Well, that assumes that you have a council in place that is anti-police, like the current council appears to be.
Right,
So maybe the next
right.
council won't be, but pretend you did. Let's pretend that, you
I
know,
believe it
you got
won't
in
be.
there with some
Yeah.
anti-police folks who are, you know, again, you get anti-police folks. Tell us,
Yeah.
answer it that way.
Yeah, I believe that it won't be, but
Good. Me too.
I would let my voice be heard
Okay.
and not be a coward,
Right.
right?
Right.
I mean, you know, yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say about that. I mean, you know, you get that seat and your weapon is your voice, and are you going to stand for what you believe in,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
I don't think
you know,
that word.
practically, you know, other than that, practically, you know, I've never been a city council person. You know, I've never worked in city government, you know, so practically, you know, how do sit down and bring people together. But it starts with your voice, right?
Starts with assertiveness. I love, thanks for saying the C word, coward, because we don't use it enough.
I'm not calling anybody
No,
on
I know
council a
you're saying
coward.
you're not going to be a
However,
coward.
right,
And
correct.
that's our
me
society's
to? I
pushing
can.
more and more of that.
That's
that's
society's
the way
job.
to be,
Right.
and that is not. And so I appreciate you saying that.
For sure.
Russ's favorite word is gutless.
Gutless,
Oh, I see.
spineless,
Spineless.
cowards.
Right.
Dark of the night.
Dark of the night.
And dark under the cloak of night.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a lot
Right.
of taglines, I guess. I'm gonna go for the next question.
Right.
Do we pay enough in taxes?
We pay plenty of taxes.
Yeah.
Plenty. Yes, right. I understand that, sales tax is what makes our city run,
Yeah.
and it's high. I also understand that we voted to have, percent sales tax go to this and that, and things that we want, right? But we need to take whatever sales tax we have, and I use this word steward, we need to use that to the maximum, right? We need to do the best with what we have, and we don't need more taxes.
The
We're not
answer-
war acres.
The answer is yes, we pay enough in taxes,
We
and we
pay-
need to use what we do have in
100%.
place way better.
Yeah, I'm not an accountant,
Right.
but we need to,
It doesn't
just
take
like,
one. This is
right,
crazy.
I maintain my budget,
Yeah.
right? So we need,
Question about our neighbors in Norman, OU. How do you feel about OU and their effect on our council? What they've been able to produce or what they've produced and
right,
introduced to Norman, and how they're
Right.
using Norman as a guinea pig for their social programs.
Wow.
And how do you feel about that? Any way?
right. So the University of Oklahoma clearly is what makes Norman so special. A college town living in a college town is awesome.
Right.
The cultural, things that you can experience. All the stuff. However, I've had friends recently, I guess on the 4th of July, I was sitting down with some people and some buddies, and he was telling me, he was like, you know what? OU is too liberal. We're taking our boy to
Somewhere
Southeast
else.
Missouri State or whatever, I don't know what, we're taking
Yeah.
him to go look at these other colleges.
Right.
And he went to Norman High and Whittier and West with me, and, and it's like, oh my gosh, like this is actually a thing. I love the University of Oklahoma. However, when people are starting to have conversations like that, it's one of those things where it's like, you should be able to go to a university and come out of it with your own opinions.
Right.
Not, you should be presented with information, kind of like CNN or whatever, it's like, I should just be able to get the news.
Right.
I don't need editorials or opinion, just give me the news. Tell
Right.
me what's going on in the world. Let me make my own opinion about it.
It's hard to get that anywhere, right?
Right, it's hard to get that anywhere. You should be able to go to OU and come out with your own thoughts.
Yeah. I
Right?
agree with that.
And so, so that's really disappointing to me. I don't know what else to say about that.
Would you turn down federal money that helps make our school safer? SROs.
SROs.
Yeah.
Right. No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't turn down their money to help pick up the sticks in my yard either.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? Are we waiting on that?
I'm waiting.
Yes. Yes.
Every one of my neighbors, everybody
Right.
here.
Yeah, so absolutely not. Why would we do that? The SROs are awesome. In the meeting, I sat there and listened to people come up and bash our SROs. And the guy at Alcott, where my kids go to school, those kids love him. He's like he puts his arm around these kids, figuratively. I don't know about literally.
Yeah.
But, and it really has done great work. And then did you see that the police department posted that picture of the SRO playing football in uniform in
They do
front
that
of
all the
Norman
time.
High at
Fantastic.
recess or whatever?
Yeah, they're
I
known
guess
for
those guys
that.
don't have
It's
recess, they
so-
have lunch, but it's
Such a great
awesome.
thing.
No, of course
The way
we
it should
wouldn't
be.
we wouldn't refuse that.
Okay.
Right.
I know we're running short on time, but y'all, Denise, Facebook question, or Kendra or Sasan?
There's the question about if you have any thoughts on the homeless population.
Yeah, the
That's a
homeless
big
issue
conversation right
is a difficult one. We've asked everybody. So
That is a difficult one.
man, go ahead.
Right. So just, it's sad. Like you circle up, you come off I-35 and circle up to get on Highway 9.
Yeah.
And there's just like out in there in the forest, there's all these like little houses and stuff. It's terrible. Clarence Hill is the pastor of my church, and he has kind of his own organization called Stronger Together, and he is like kind of like a national voice in racial reconciliation.
Okay.
And he, that organization is aimed at the poor, and it's aimed at like uniting cities, and he would say, whatever a city does for the poor, in essence, kind of qualifies them for greater things. And I think that, his voice is amazing, and I love what he has to say. Practically, I think that the church has done a great job to like reach out. I would love to see the church and the city reach out together to the poor and the homeless in the city and help out. As far as like, one of my friends who is a developer, his name's, which immediately makes you a terrible person.
Obviously.
But Gene McCown,
Yeah.
Built all of that awesome village, for, is it food and shelter?
Yeah.
For food and shelter.
Yes.
I mean, and people move in there and they get to keep all the furniture that's donated when they get to move out and get work and go do something. I'm not, and he's doing great things.
Right.
We can do great things as a city.
Mm-hmm.
What Norman Regional, is doing in the Porter campus with behavioral health, because behavioral health plays such a big role
Yeah.
in our homeless population.
Yeah.
I think that behavioral health and partnering, this is an aside, but when people are kind of moving against developers, the two people that I know that consistently give big money toward the homeless in Norman are developers, right? And it's like, I don't know about you.
I know a
as
guy.
son.
I know a
I'm
guy.
sure that's true of
I
you.
know a guy who's
but I just
gives
think
with his heart.
I
and his
think
finances.
getting the business people to come together
Right.
and in cooperation with the city and with mental health, but it's an issue.
But okay, specifically though. All right. Go ahead.
The homeless center that you referred to does have certain requirements. It's not just an open invitation. There's a
Right,
limitation.
that's
You can
true.
stay there.
That's true.
There's no drug policy, and you have to enroll in some skill
Right.
training. And
Right.
after a year, you have to move out and allow that space to become
That's great.
That's awesome.
shelter for someone
That's
else
awesome.
that's
Yes.
down on
Yes.
their luck. And
Yeah.
so it's not just a place that you can
just show up
reside
and move
for
in.
forever. And they've done a really good job in developing that. Gene busted his butt raising money to do that, and had the vision and got it done. And then the management of it has done really well, taking care of the place and turning it to where it becomes a very productive center for people that are down on their lucks.
Right.
It's a kind of
It's
a
awesome.
hand up,
Yeah.
helping
For
them get
sure,
back on
yeah,
their feet.
right.
Well, you had the CARES Act issue, okay?
my.
And maybe you could just be brief on that real quick because, there was a vote on some of these things that they're using the CARES Act money for. There was a vote, a bond election, and we voted all those down.
Right.
And now CARES Act money
Right.
comes around and they get what they want. The council doesn't matter what the city
Right.
voted for. So, specifically, even not in CARES Act money, but if you disagree with something, that the citizens are voting for, are you going to find a way to circumvent that on council?
Right, of course not. I don't know, like the pieces of that, one of the things that like hits me kind of the most so I've been working with the seniors
Yeah.
of Norman, Moore, Oklahoma City.
Right, that's
for
what
the
you
past
do.
14 years.
Yeah, that's what you do. Yeah.
I'm in for the past 14 years, I've been in a senior citizen's home for 6 hours a day, right?
Right.
Trying to help them get well. And I'm just telling you, if you took a poll of all of the seniors in Norman and said, would you rather $5 million of our CARES Act money go toward a senior center, or would you rather it support small business? It would overwhelmingly be give it to the business people in Norman who are trying to survive.
Right.
Right. It just is.
So CARES Act money may not be the best.
Because they're of a different generation. They're not about me. They're about.
That's
they're
exactly
about other
right.
people.
It's the greatest
You know?
generation.
They're
Baby
they're-
boomers
they
as
rather
well,
see,
same way.
see their fellow citizens that are suffering do
Yep.
better than them having a center. And
100%
that explains
right.
it.
Yeah.
100% right. Yeah.
So,
Not to mention that our city council, in that CARES Act money, they're giving like 1/7 of it to small businesses in Norman or something, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I mean, they have, because of the way, I appreciate the way that like Mayor Clark, she's so aggressive with masks and all this and that. And as a healthcare professional, I think that you should wear a mask, right? But like the way that she moved, with fines and kind of like, I'm spying on you and please tell on these businesses and all that, that created this animosity
Oh my
between
gosh.
her and the businesses of Norman that may have probably already been there, but there was an opportunity to bridge that gap potentially with the CARES money.
it's a
Yeah.
huge
You
opportunity.
know what I mean? It was
It's
a
huge
real
opportunity.
missed
And
opportunity.
That's a fine way. You said it perfectly. Hey, what do you think?
Maybe they're just after that one project that they can say, we got something accomplished.
Yeah, I mean,
Because they haven't accomplished shit.
What
so far.
about that? What about that list of accomplishment billboard you
I'm,
were going
I'm,
to put out there?
I'm working on that. There will be a list.
So-
I had an email from a councilman that specifically said they were doing the senior center because they felt like they were elected to do that. That's in my personal.
And how many and how many votes did they get to be elected? And how many people voted against that particular?
To rip them out of
Project.
office, yeah.
Numbers don't lie, and apparently that council member, whoever he or she might be, apparently can't add or subtract. Okay,
Math is not.
math is not probably there, and maybe that's why they're doing what they're doing. Okay, 'Cause that's a really stupid remark to make.
Do you think local communities like Norman should be testing grounds for national
That's my
agendas?
Oh my gosh.
Like us being a sanctuary city or allowing 16-year-olds to vote? You don't
Russ,
even
what
need
do
to.
you-
I just want to say it. It's like a.
That means
You
you're
just wanted to
14.
read that question.
I did. I just wanted to read it.
That would mean your 14-year-old's 2 years
Yeah.
away from.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
But
could,
if
as
you-
long as he lives with me and goes to vote with me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's probably the intention behind that.
Oh my
actually,
gosh.
Let's go lightning
So-
round, or do we want to add
Let
one?
me ask a question.
Yeah,
You
go
haven't
ahead.
asked. I wish I would have thought about this a couple of nights ago, but
Oh no.
you're running against a couple of other people. Hopefully they'll come on and visit with us, and we'll welcome them to do so. But let's say at some point we ask you to step down in the good of the community and let a better candidate move forward. Would you do that?
Who's we? The
You
petition.
and Russ.
Well,
No.
around the table
Yeah.
Yeah.
with the other candidates and with
Let's say,
Right.
let's say
Right.
you're here for hopefully exposure, letting people know who you are. And at some point before the actual votes, let's say,
Oh, before it happens.
right, would you
That's interesting.
be willing to, you're gonna put in a lot of hard work and a lot of hours, and would you be willing to forego that for the good of community?
Wow, oh my gosh. You just tested that question out on
I
me.
did. I did. You know why? You
Yeah,
know
go
why? Because
Right.
first of all, I thought about it last night. Second, I thought you would have the capacity to answer that.
Ooh.
Oh, gosh.
That just,
High
No, I'm
expectations
serious.
there. That's
that
a
just
compliment,
invigorated me.
actually. Yeah.
You know
Because,
what, yes,
you know,
right. Yeah, you know what, I
We all,
absolutely.
we all come in
okay.
here and say we're doing this for our city, okay?
Yeah.
Right,
Show me the money. Okay?
interesting.
And this is not about you, honestly. This is
Yeah.
a question I'm going to be asking in other settings.
Right.
Would you do that?
Right.
You know, because so far, these people that are on the council, again, they can't add or subtract. They don't see the numbers. We've asked for the resignation for the good of the community. And somebody like Patron that is hanging by thinking that she has beat the recall
Right.
vote by 3 votes and she's happy about it.
Which she
She's
didn't.
still, which by the way, yeah, she didn't. We have 170 names that proves otherwise.
Yeah. Coming
She
back.
has audacity to refile and ignore that she is not that popular. People of
Unbelievable.
Ward 3 don't want her as her representative.
Yep.
So when you're in that situation, would you step down?
Yeah.
When you know that you're not the best candidate or you're not the best council member out there?
Before the vote.
Before
Well,
the
at
vote.
any time, maybe.
At any time, let's say we had a recall on you and you got, seriously, you got
This is
elected with
getting real.
1,500 votes and we're going to bring 5,000 votes against you. That
Right.
means you're not doing something right.
Right.
Would you resign at that point?
Well, if I got recalled, I would let myself be recalled.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And let's say Sean Boyd, the writer of great questions, who loves me. Decided-
I'm
We
going to
love
stop.
him.
Say
I'm
he
gonna stop
decided
you-
he
I'm gonna
wanted to
stop
come
you
in.
just for a second.
Right.
One of the most eloquent speeches I ever heard while we were yelling and screaming and took over the council chamber
yeah.
was his speech. He did it with grace
That's
and,
right.
and he
was
did
amazing.
it with respect and he bowed out.
Yeah.
So my hat off to him. He did not deserve what he got. We're glad that you're here. And,
Yeah, right. Thank
and I'm
you.
sure you'll do as good of a job as a council member as he would have. But this is my moment to thank him for what he did and the way he handled it.
Yeah. Great job.
Right.
Anyway, sorry
Right,
to interrupt you.
So it's too late now because no one else can file. But let's say when we were in conversation at the very beginning, me and my buddies sitting around and one of those guys, like Sean Boyd, who I think is fantastic, said, the powers that be were like, what, we think he's better. I would say, well, I'm not running for city council because I want to be an important man in the city. I'm running for
great.
city council
What a
because I want for the city to be great.
Fantastic.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not a,
yeah. Absolutely.
Right, so I haven't been contemplating city council runs for the past 20 years or
Right.
anything.
Well, we're
Right.
glad you are
Right.
considering that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
We're very thankful.
Yeah.
Well, you answered my question. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Right
Yeah,
on.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
You want to go straight to the lightning round, or do you want to have anything?
do it.
Okay.
Okay.
You go. You go.
All right, favorite
We
place.
need music during this. Lightning round.
Okay.
We're working on our production capabilities.
Uh-oh.
Oh no! He's running! He's running!
He's moving pretty fast.
He was.
There.
I didn't see him move that fast.
He runs everywhere he goes.
Yeah.
When the gentlemen are ready,
Yeah.
I'm ready.
favorite place to eat in Norman?
Favorite place to Norman. So I like Pepe's
Ooh.
Pub W. I'm not naming one. Pepe's Pub W. Where else do we go?
Pepe's West Side.
Pad Thai. I like Pad Thai.
I do too.
Oh, yeah?
I do too.
Had-
Oh, I
had that
love
for
that
lunch
face.
today.
Hello, Emilio.
What do you like to read?
What do I like to read? I read the Bible. I don't really read any other books. And I listen. I drive all day.
You got 4 kids. You do audiobooks?
Yeah, so I'll listen to podcasts, YouTube stuff. I mean,
Right.
just drive around. I'm not a huge reader.
Yeah.
As
I
you're
stopped
dreaming
that
about-
after
You
college.
don't listen to women's of it. What is it?
Apocalypse.
Apocalypse?
The-
I-
Well,
you
what
know,
an
you-
apocalypse they created.
are you going to make a
It's a joke.
4 bad men of the apocalypse podcast
The
while you're on
writers.
city council and use terrible language?
The
And
4 horsemen of the
that's
apocalypse.
what they, 4 bad ass women,
Grown-ass.
grown-ass women of the apocalypse. Have you heard this
Grown-ass.
podcast?
I ingested about 15 minutes of that.
Pretty tough. Hope you had a barf bag.
Indeed. Yeah,
All right. Do you subscribe to the Norman Transcript?
I do not.
Do you, or where will you be found on a Saturday night?
Often on Saturday night, my parents will watch my kids, and I might be at Pub W or wherever with my wife.
Yeah.
Tuesday night?
Yeah.
Tuesday night? Or city council? I don't know, coaching soccer or
Thanks.
No coaching.
helping someone with their homework or something?
Tuesday nights must be free now.
Okay.
Now.
All right, let's free them up.
Favorite movie or TV show?
Favorite movie or TV show?
I have a good one. Scratch that. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
Oh, that's a great question. It's a Christmas movie.
Of course
It is a Christmas movie, of course.
Of course
Man,
it
my
is.
wife and I got into this the other night. Everything that would come on, you go, okay, is that a Christmas
Of
movie?
course it is,
We'd be
and
like,
then some.
Because Christmas in Hollis by Run DMC
oh,
is a part of the soundtrack.
that's fantastic. Yeah.
Right. Yes.
You were doing so well.
I think it's perfect.
And
Lord of the Rings, favorite movie.
All right.
Yeah.
that's a good
My
one.
wife, it's one of her favorites.
Never watched.
Sooner Dairy or Classic 50s?
An Oreo shake at Sooner Dairy
It's
and a hamburger.
fantastic.
at
Might be my last
50s, I
meal
guess.
in life if they ask.
And your favorite band is U2, but what is your
U2.
favorite song by U2?
Favorite song? Oh my gosh. Bad. But not the Michael Jackson bad.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
All right.
Is that a
Fair
U2
enough.
song?
I didn't know
The
it was
show
YouTube.
is.
All right. Okay. Well, you made it through the lightning round. You survived it.
All right.
Anything else anybody has? You want to say anything to the camera or to the
Oh
audience?
my gosh. Yeah.
Let's
I
see
mean,
any
I would
questions.
be honored to serve in Ward 2 and serve the city.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Yeah.
We appreciate that, and some of the ways you said things tonight were, really thought provoking, and I hadn't thought
Cool,
of things
man.
that way, and that was great to hear. So we
Cool.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you, guys.
So I give a disclaimer every time that just because we have someone on, they're not who we are endorsing. We may endorse later. We haven't made that decision. We may have a couple folks on next week, and then maybe give a break for the holiday, and then for Christmas, and then again we'll start up again, and hopefully we'll have more of these. We may have multiple candidates on at the same time. We haven't decided yet, but we'd ask you to come
Okay.
on again if you would.
I'd do it.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
Thank
Awesome,
you for
man.
considering to
Yeah.
run.
yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
thank
you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you.